most excited about the growth in expectations of people for automation and AI capability more generally. So I think the tech is here, and in a lot of ways, it's that the tech focused businesses are kind of holding back, I guess, until those expectations catch up. The scale of the capabilities that could be rolled out just aren't necessarily being rolled out yet until people get more comfortable with the possibility. But obviously, with ChatGPT setting the world on fire, even my 64-year-old dad asked me on the weekend whether I was doing anything with AI at work at the moment. So it sort of shows that those people who, I guess, historically would have wanted some sort of retail center face-to-face interaction are now kind of like opening up to the idea that maybe AI is not just scary robots, and that there is some real value there for them, and that they could kind of, interact with these things that I guess they've traditionally been a bit more scared of. So in my role currently, the biggest priority is probably reimagining the way we've always done things. So especially in the communication and insight space, and bringing people on that change journey with us to realize the opportunities of AI. I think from a broader sort of out in the general population perspective, there is this sort of conversation about ChatGPT and whatnot. But businesses like NIB that have been around for more than 60 years are always going to carry those legacy systems and processes that make structural change quite challenging. And it's in a lot of those changes that we can kind of underpin the real opportunity of this technology. But that said, one of NIB's greatest strengths is that we have such a forward-thinking, experimental way of doing things. And that's led from the top. So everyone's really excited about the opportunity to support those changes. It's just sort of realizing those and bringing them out into the open for everyone. We're experimenting with AI throughout the business, but in the conversational experiences space, in particular, we're working closely with our vendors. So, primarily Amazon for one, to enable enhancements across both the agent and the member experience. We look after what the agents are doing and trying to make that as efficient and enjoyable essentially as possible, but also from that member side, making sure that they're able to have interactions with us as and when they need to. So, and our people can't be available 24/7. And while we've got fantastic app and website with all the self-service capability, there'll always be those complicated edge cases that can't be serviced in that one size fits all kind of way. Or it's just someone probably like my dad, who would rather handle something verbally over the phone. So with AI on our side, we can work on automating more of those transactions. So through our chatbots and voice bots, and just being able to step a member through a particular process helps us improve that standard of service. So we can do that, late at night after the contact center traditionally would close, on the weekend, and we can engage with someone on the platform they want to speak to us on, not just always sending them into a self-service option that they traditionally wouldn't necessarily feel as comfortable. And the other side of this, because of AI, we can also see so much more insight into those experiences, and can isolate areas where there is opportunity for a deeper dive from a more qualitative kind of perspective. So through our speech analytics program of work, we're automatically tagging up themes on interactions and then sharing that into the business, enabling automation of aspects of our quality function. So then we can inform CX practitioners, marketing folks, operations, and other people around the business of trends and then potential issues that we have on the horizon. So I've worked at NIB for a long time, so I realize I'm quite biased, but I honestly believe we've got some of the hardest working, most innovative, collaborative people around, and we really have a desire to swarm on things and solve problems that truly led from the top down. So it really feels like this is our moment. This is the time where we can jump on all of this and really show how we can solve these problems and jump on the opportunity. And obviously that is enabled by investment in great partners, and comfort with failure. So really kind of staying lean and being majority agile across the business has really helped us do as much as we can in the digital space and stay on top of ever evolving change. So success for us, of course, there are all the KPIs that we hold ourselves to. So things around our rates of automated authentication, and things like how many lower value interactions we can defer from the contact center and solve with the bot, so that we can free our agents up to deal with, literal life or death situations. But it sounds like a cliche, but nothing feels more like success in our space than collaborating with an area of the business who are ready and willing to have an absolute automation makeover. And it's not to remove the humans from the loop. The humans are a very important part of that and inform that. But there's so many, as we were saying, a legacy system, legacy processes in a lot of spaces where it's down to the folks being willing. The technology exists. We just need to bring it all together. And so seeing that come to life, is a really great success story for us. My boss, our head of emerging technology and data platforms, recently referred to me as Switzerland, in that my role as a product manager means that I need to understand both the business perspective and the technical perspective, and then figure out the best path forward. So I'll add Switzerland to my list of descriptions for myself. And another one is a bridge, essentially, between technical and non-technical people. So I think it's so easy for humans, as we know, to go into fear mode if there's something that we don't understand. And I think the other side of that as well is if you're struggling to communicate something to someone and you're not able to get the message across. And I see this happen a lot with technical folk trying to communicate back to non-technical folks from around the business. And so then both sides are missing out. Technical people aren't necessarily building what is needed, and then business folk are being a bit scared of change. So trying to bridge the gap between those two sides is a really important part of my time at NIB over the years as well. And the third one will be a cheerleader. So I'm one of my team's biggest fans, and I'm just always so honoured to represent their skill and passion for everything we do. So I'm most looking forward to all the little nuggets of wisdom that pop up when you least expect it. In the talks, you kind of just saw the end of, because you didn't necessarily think that was a main one that you were there for. And in conversations with people over coffees, I was lucky enough to head along last year when a colleague couldn't make it. And I got so much more out of the event than I thought I would. And my team and I even had an information sharing session with a contact that I met there. So I'd say there's always so much more to be found at events like Customer Connect than you kind of expect it to be.